This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
This Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop Convention and Ranger Stop and Pop. Have you ever wanted to see all your favorite Power Rangers together in one epic convention? Go to Ranger Stop! Ranger Stop and Pop! August 27th to the 29th, 2021! Atlanta, Georgia! Ranger Stop 8! November 11th to the 14th! Orlando, Florida! Get your tickets now! Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
And then there was only one. That's right. Of the original 5 travelers who found Wonderworld, there's only one remaining. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rider Time Podcast. This is Time Rider Zero, your host. And oh my God, this week's episode was very emotionally intense. I'll tell you what. And all the stuff between Ren and Disaster, between Tassel and Storius, everything is going to start to reach its climax, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Oh, boy. Anyways, guys, let us know what you thought of the episode in the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, whichever of the two platforms you're using. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode. And, of course, what is this week's episode? Why, it's none other than Kamen Rider Saber, episode 42, the beginning of a beautiful end. Oh, man. Tassel. Just when he was about to be a more active character in the show, he dies the most tragic death. But let's get into the actual episode and see how that happened. So we start off with Toma running towards the bookstore, not the bookstore, the northern base. And when he asks Kento if Luna showed up yet, he said, no, she's not here yet, but I'm pretty sure she and Tassel are on their way. However, she's not with Tassel. But you know who is? It's Storius. And this is the first time they see each other in the last 2,000 years. And the reunion is not going to be a very good one. Meanwhile, Luna is somewhere in the woods, but she's on her way to the human world for some reason. Meanwhile, back at the base, Tetsuo starts munching on a giant rice ball, wondering what that Majid from the previous episode was trying to accomplish. However, before he was able to ask the important question, he takes a bite out of this giant rice ball, and he can't help but feel really bitter because it is way too salty. And he's like, May, what'd you do? This rice ball tastes disgusting. Why'd you put so much salt in there? And May responds, I did not make this rice ball. It was... And then they look over, and it was Sophia that made the rice ball. And, of course, she feels really embarrassed about it. Now, we've been making jokes about the bromance between Tetsuo and Ogami throughout the entire season. But I think there's been very little discussion about the possible romance, full-blown romance, between Tetsuo and Sophia. Like, I'm pretty sure there's something happening there that neither of them are admitting to, but there's something definitely going on there. And of course, when he looks over to the other rioters, they're like, look, man, this is all on you, but we got your back. So May tells Tetsuo that he needs to man up and eat the rice ball and be honest. And of course, he takes a bite out of it. And despite it tasting so terrible, he's like, it is so good. And she's like, no, it's too late for you to try to lie. And of course, Sophia tries to stop her, and it's adorable. However, moving on ahead. Wait. Actually, no, sorry. However, while this is happening, Ren and Disaster are fighting each other. Ren and Disaster are fighting each other, and Ren is getting his butt kicked, but then he demorphs before he decides to put up any actual fight, and he walks away. And of course, Disaster is naturally upset because if you recall from the previous episode, he's gonna die soon. He needs a spectacle of a fight, and because he's been grooming Ren to be a better fighter for so long, it's about time he pays the piper and shows how strong he's really gotten. But of course, Ren, being Ren, is just about it. Back to the northern base. Tetsuo is still struggling to eat that rice ball. And while May is secretly putting some kind of spice onto the rice ball, I don't know what spice that is. Maybe it's hot sauce, who knows? But it's a blink and you miss sort of thing. But she's definitely putting stuff in his rice ball, while Sophia is pulling away the soy milk away from him. I don't know if it's soy milk. Maybe it's coconut water. But I know that they had a promotion recently with Soldier for soy milk, so I'm just gonna pretend it's soy milk, which honestly I don't think would be very appetizing with rice balls, and not just because I'm allergic to soy. But nevertheless, Tetsuo does remark what exactly was the magic trying to accomplish by eating the barrier between the human world and the Wonder World, and of course. Upon hearing this, Yuri says, "Why didn't you tell me this sooner?" And then he just runs off to what would be Tassel's home. However, they're in Wonder World, and Tass asks Doris, "Why are we fighting? Like do you know we haven't seen each other in 2,000 years? Do you know how hard it was for me to fight my 5 friends? Remember why we went to Wonderworld in the first place? To gain power in order to be able to help humanity, so that no one will go through hunger, poverty, sickness, or anything. Do you know how hard it is that only the 2 of us are left, and we can't do anything about it? We need to put an end to all of this." And of course, Story says, "You're right. We do need to put an end to all of this." And Tassel slowly smiles because these are words that he does want to hear. But then suddenly, Storius stabs Victor. Victor is now dead. And of course, while he's fading away like the Little Mermaid, all he could do is think about Toma and his growth, and leaves the rest up to him. Unfortunately, because Victor is the keeper of the Wonder World, that means that everything turned red, and the human world and the Wonder World are now going to start to overlap with each other. Meanwhile, Ren, being Ren, is eating some of that green hurricane ramen, but he's not putting any red ginger into his food. And of course, Disaster is like, "Hey, you gotta eat your 5 a day. You gotta have those 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, just like the Power Rangers PSA said." And May's like, I don't like ginger. See, this is why you're never gonna grow up to be a real boy. You're just going to be a little brat, just like Chris O'Donnell in Batman and Robin. And of course, Ren says that it must be nice to exist without having a reason to fight or live. But I can't afford that. I can't be the way I am now, but I can't be the way I want to be. But of course, this causes Disaster to go through existential depression, where he's slowly fading away. And I can't help but feel bad for the guy. He wants a reason to exist, but he doesn't have one. And yeah, and saying that your best friend, the guy you spent the last 20 episodes with, is, well, not 20 episodes, more like 15 episodes, is like trying to say that you have no reason to live. That's kind of messed up, Ren. Now I don't really want you to be our friend. But of course, Toma and Toma and Kento, they do want to have Ren come back. Kento even asked Toma, so did you find Ren? What did he say? And he's like, Ren was, this is what he said. And wondered why is it that I, a novelist, am a better sword fighter than him, an actual warrior, but you know him. But it can't be helped because they find out that there is an overlap in Wonderworld. And so remembering the sealing spell that Daichi used 15 years ago in order to keep Wonderworld from overlapping with the human world, the 7 riders go off to seal the spread. Yes, that's right. They're trying to, hold on, give me a second. They're trying to contain the spread. Anyways. And also, I can't help but wonder, where are the Shindais? They've been gone for the last 2 episodes, and they have no reason to be gone. It's like, if you want us to take you seriously as new baby faces, you gotta pull your weight, guys. Nevertheless, the writers do go towards the barrier, and they do use a sealing spell in order to stop it. But of course, when the seal is complete, Toma notices Storius passing right through it. Naturally, they confront each other, and Storius talks about how every story needs to have a beautiful ending, and I will be the author of this one's. And this story needs to end with you being gone. Meanwhile, Luna remembers the conversation she was having with Victor, and how she is the Wonder World itself, and she needs, and in order for Toma to save everyone, he needs to sacrifice himself by being trapped in Wonder World forever, just like Victor. So I was right about that, as I mentioned last week. But of course, she's at a park in the human world, and of course, May finds her, but while trying to give chase to her, she ends up falling over herself in the mud. And I'm thinking, boy, May is adorable, but I still haven't forgotten that May was robbed. She was very robbed. She needs to at this point, give her Calibur's sword. There's nothing stopping you. I mean, would it be great if Kento had Calibur and she had Espada? Of course, it would have been better. But hey, if Kanto's going to be Espada, let her be Calibur. She could be a great Calibur, just like Victor and Kanto's dad, but not Daichi because he's a jerk. Anywho, so Disaster shows up, and of course, Storius tries to pit the two of them against each other, because since he's dead and dying, he may as well go out with one last hurrah. And while they're fighting, Storius tells Toma, listen, this Magid, he has no place in my ending. Like, he exists without purpose. He fights without purpose. You may as well kill him for me. But of course, Disaster, being very angry at him, tries to attack him. But of course, it does him very little good because turns out Storius has the Omniforce Wonderite book, and that causes him to fall over himself. And Toma wonders, wait, I could have sworn I destroyed that book. How is it that you still have it? Of course, he has his little secrets. And of course, Disaster laments that blaming Toma for the reason why Ren can't grow up as a person. And of course, Ren, overhearing this, he has a fantasy of all his friends greeting him. But again, Disaster blames Toma for him not being, quote unquote, not being strong enough to join them. So he does one last attack against Toma. But of course, crossing Saber is so powerful that he's slowly disintegrating. And because his book is destroyed, it'll do him very little good to recover. But the good news is that the Wonder World has been contained. It didn't seal away completely, but it was stopped from spreading. And again, I apologize for any unintentional references to the Koof. It just happened. Okay, so now we're going to the end game. Storius retreats and using the 5 books he's collected. The three magic books that his book, Legiel's book, Zuos' book, Master Logos' Omniforce, and the newly obtained Victor's book. Now he has all 5 books needed in order to perform the next phase of his plan. And of course, you got that clone of Sophia that we saw in episode 32. So what's his plan? Well, I guess we're gonna have to find the next episode. Roll credits. But wait, there's an end credit scene where May is having a conversation with Luna, and I can't help but wonder how is it that her clothes are clean again. But that's a thing that we're not gonna go into. And of course, they have a delightful conversation about Toma and his friends, and they at least respect each other in that everyone wants best for Toma, and they love how he loves everyone. However, she does get a phone call asking for an update, but when her back is turned, she finds Luna has run off. And now all we can do is wait a couple of days for the next episode. So what do you guys think? Likes, dislikes? What do you think will happen next? Let us know in the comments. Me personally, I'm glad things are finally reaching their end game. And like I said, I said that given the fact that Master Logos was defeated in episode 40, Disaster will probably be finished in either episodes 42 or 43, and the rest of the season will be dedicated to fighting Storius. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going to happen. And because it does seem like, given the fact that Disaster has a giant hole in his chest now, and it's not going to regenerate very quickly, that we're going to reach the end game. And I'm pretty sure it's going to involve Ren and Disaster having a final show off. I hope Ren actually grows up as a character from this, and he joins the team. Hopefully he'll gain some kind of power up from fighting Disaster, because at that point, there's no reason for him to spend so much time with Disaster, lamenting about not being strong enough, and now he has to fight him. So, and also, it would be really interesting if, much like the other 3 Magids, Disaster is in fact Ren's master, somehow turned into a Magid. It does seem very unlikely, but that's the only way I could really think of for their relationship at this point, especially given how much attention is brought into his backstory, but not going too much into it. Now, Luna, I don't know what she's up to, but she better make up her mind. Do you want to run out Toma, or don't you? Do your thing, girl. Victor, I feel bad for the guy. Like, he's missing for most of the show, and they do establish him to be a very important canonical character, but they did so little with him, and I'm just really concerned. As for Storius, he's a bastard. Nothing to say beyond that point. As for the rest of the as for the rest of the writers, I love the ceiling spell he did, but I want to take a moment to talk about Tetsuo and Sophia. Can we get more of this? I'm really enjoying their relationship, and I'm wondering if something will come of that. Now, I know she's supposed to be like a more or less clone of Luna, but let's be honest, she's still her own person, so there's no reason that she can't date Tetsuo when all this is over. And I'd be interested to see something like that happen. Now, uh, let's see. The pacing was all right for this episode, but the plot was also all over the place. I wish they did spend a little more time with the Storius versus Victor reunion. I feel like that was a little rushed. It would have been nice if they spent a little more of the entire episode doing this, because they haven't seen each other in 2,000 years, and I want to see their relationship be more than just, hey, I haven't seen you in 2,000 years, stabby, stabby, and just leave it at that. At least that's my opinion. Now, obviously, my cohort, he was not available to show up. He's running late, but he did leave a message as to what he thought of the episode. So, Psycho Fox, take it.
All right, boom. So after watching this week's episode of Kamen Rider Saber, Ren's the key. I'm pretty sure when Ren kills his ass, my theory is that was his old sensei who became like a ninja demon. That's just one. Number two, part of me thinks May might be taking Luna's place. That's just a theory. I don't know. Overall, this episode was good. Not as good as the last two episodes, but overall, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, me, I give it an 8 out of 10 because, of the things I mentioned. Yeah, this episode is kind of lackluster compared to the previous one, but it is what it is. I mean, at least it wasn't as terrible as episode 36 when Ryoga baby-faced out of nowhere and was like, now I'm going to fight you because you're no longer called Master Logos. It is what it is. So, comments. Let me know what you guys think of the episode. So, let's see. This was an episode. Yes, this was an episode. L'Oreal says hi. Hi. Kuma says hi. I've been watching Metalder today, and honestly, I love the show. Yeah, Metalder is pretty fun. Let's see. Ren actually getting character development. I was genuinely shocked. Yeah, me too. And you know what would really improve your character? Eating some goddamn ginger. Doesn't have to be red ginger, but you should eat some ginger. Storius is as scary as ever. Yeah, but I think it's also because of the voice editing. What are your thoughts on Metal Heroes franchise? I like it. It's all right. I don't put too much thought into it because I'm more of a Sentai writer guy, but I have more experience with Metal Hero than I do with Ultraman, so that's something, I guess. Starting episode 40 of episode Saber, let's make the high quality more domestic. Headquarters more domestic. Yeah. You're not wrong. Tetsuo liking Sophia. How? Because did you see the way he ate that rice ball? Like, if that isn't love, I don't know what is. Like, you gotta read the context clues. Be a man, Tetsuo. Eat that rice ball. It's about time Ren took what my man said to heart. Yeah. I still can't believe Tassel's killing off. Yeah, and turn into the Little Mermaid. Clearly. Brother, my brother, we face each other from different sides. Anger burns down. Anger burns. Don't remember why. Can't we just pretend this war never began? We should love one another. I'm sorry. Is that from the Prince of Egypt? Because that sounds like. No, wait, hold on. No, wait. This is from Pokemon. Yes. Brother, my brother. Yeah. Okay, I got the reference. I think it was hinting if he found a reason to keep fighting, Disaster could survive, but I don't think that'll happen, and Ren better pull through and being an amazing character by the end. Yeah. Yeah. Like when you invest in something, there better be a payoff. I just hope Toma doesn't disappear. Same May as Caliber. I don't know. Look. I would have been fine with her being a Spada, but she was robbed. There's no going around it. She was robbed. The only way she could be unrobbed is if she got Caliber's sword. The audience about May with Luna. Oh God, she's safe. Post credits. Why are you running? Why are you running? Disaster blaming Toma. It ain't my man's fault. It's Ren's. Ren's is a dingus. Yeah. But let's be honest. Disaster is practically Ren's parent, and you know how parents are sometimes. They're like, "How dare you blame my child for their own mistake? It's your fault that my child is at fault." I can't believe May left Luna alone like that. Technically, she ran off. She didn't leave her alone. She just turned away. That's not necessarily leaving someone alone. Now, Victor left her alone. That is a different story. Us? No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad Ren is getting is changing a little, but if he talks smack about Toma, I am taking my earrings off. Oh no! Don't take those earrings off. 6.5 out of 10. I wasn't interested in the setup for disaster and tassel scenes. Yeah, like for me, it's the issue is not the setup; it's the payoff. Let me just take that away. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, bro, but curse my Toma out and somebody's gonna get hurt. Unless it was one of those things. I mean to say, it wasn't interesting except in the setup and the tassel stuff. If I could, I'd tell Ren to answer his question about why Toma is strong. He got brains and fights with class, strong enough to kick your, you know what. Okay. For every amazing episode, there is an episode that has to come after that as this episode. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Kuma. Also, obligatory May was robbed. Hashtag May was robbed. Yes. Before that, it was Scumbag Raiden. But, it is what it is. He got the song eventually. Yeah. Brother, my brother. And you know what story? You know what disaster? Let me tell you something. It's not the circumstances of our birth that defines us who we are, but what we do. Disaster's a Karen confirmed. This episode was pretty good. B5 plus. I mean, if it's B5 plus, you may as well just say it's an A minus. Well, that's it for the comments section, guys. This has been Kamen Rider Saber episode 42. The beginning of a beautiful end. And let's see the middle of that beautiful end next week. And of course, don't forget that next week will be episode 43. Week after that, we're finally going to get that crossover that crossover special with Super Sentai. And then a week after that, we're finally getting a break in order to watch the Summer Olympics. Let's see how that goes. But more importantly, that means a whole week of, hope you guys miss us that week. But that aside, thank you for watching this week's episode of the Writer Time Podcast. If you want to watch some of the previous episodes, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, you can watch future episodes on both of those platforms, on both Facebook and YouTube. And if you're a fan of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, and the Boom Studio comics, we also have other shows for that on the Morphin Network as well. So be sure to check out Power Rangers Live, Power Rangers Live, Super Sentai Special, and Ranger Comic Time. And of course, we got actors being interviewed on our channel. In fact, earlier this week, I got to interview the malicious, the magnificent, the reviled Count Dragon from Saban's Master Rider. Count Dragon? I love that guy! I hate that Count Dragon. Why can't it be me fighting the Master Rider? Anywho, so be sure to check all that out by following, liking all of our socials. And if you want to see me outside of this platform, you can also find me on Instagram at @Chronoscorges_cosplay and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenCoblet. So we're very soon, in August, I will get back to streaming. And of course, you can follow my partner, who's not here right now for obvious reasons, on Instagram at @TheReckless_Fox, YouTube @TheReckless_Fox, Twitch at twitch.tv/Reckless_Fox, where we recently did our reactions to E3. And be sure to check the Scrub Club Gaming Podcast SoundCloud page to watch our reviews of 3 Mortal Kombat movies, not the 2021 movie. That will come out sometime, like maybe next week. And we are going to try to review the Resident Evil movies. Until then, guys, I hope you have a great time. And, let's, now that everything's opening back up, let's go and watch some movies. Bye, guys.
今回は Riders on Film 変身
Go Go Kamen Rider was the first Kamen Rider appeared in movie theaters, and was a theatrical release of episode 13 of the TV show, while Kamen Rider vs. Shocker was the first original screen adaptation of the show in 1972.
During the show's hiatus in the 90s, V Cinema home releases Shin Kamen Rider, The Prologue, and Kamen Rider Zero, and Kamen Rider J came in consecutive years.
Starting with Kamen Rider Agito Project G4, every season of Kamen Rider would have an original summer film up to the year 2019, with Kamen Rider Geo over Quartzer.
Winter team-up films gained annual prominence starting in 2009 with Kamen Rider vs. Kamen Rider W and Decade 2010 Movie War.
V Cinema and V Z-Next film exploded in 2011 with multi-chapter films such as Kamen Rider W Returns, Kamen Rider Gaim Gaiden, and Kamen Rider XA Trilogy, Another Ending.
See you all next time. Bye.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stop Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.